My name is Upendra Shukla. I'm a member of the New Jersey General Assembly. When I was listening to you about where these religious groups coming into India, converting people and all that, isn't there a responsibility of the government to ensure economic egalitarianism? Because a lot of the times, I think in a free society, there should be opportunity. There are opportunities to convert people here also. I have so many times Jehovah's Witnesses come to my door and drop off watchtower and all the things. And that is freedom. I think that is really true democracy, that you have to allow that. But what has happened is that if I am poor, if I am not able to make my ends meet, I don't have the education, I don't have the future, I don't have the hope to succeed, I am looking for people who are willing to provide that. If a Christian missionary comes and does that, or Islamic religious people come and convert me, I mean, there is an obligation for the government to make sure all the people are provided the opportunity, irrespective of their race, religion, because that is what a secular society is all about. I think the government has failed in providing opportunities for these poor people, and so they are looking for ways to just to survive. I think I disagree with your view on maybe you can answer what is the role of government, why is not doing the economic egalitarianism, and after that is racial egalitarianism.
Sure. I think the question of freedom, freedom also should have moral responsibility. We don't have unlimited freedom. The businesses don't have unlimited freedom. They can't do false advertising. If they do false advertising and make a claim for their product which is false, they can get sued. But if I go there and make a claim that your religion will take you to hell, I can't really prove it, I can't really substantiate it, and my religion will give you salvation, it's false advertising, I can't really substantiate it, but I can get away with it because it's religion. So if you want to apply the model of free marketing, then you should also apply the model of responsibility. You can take your competitor to task in the business model if he's doing unfair competition by slandering you, but can you take the competing religion to task because he's slandering you? So if you want freedom, so the first point is, if you want a level playing field and a free market in religion, then you should also have religious accountability to the same standard as corporate accountability for them to get that same privilege. And that requires also disclosure, transparency of disclosure, just like the corporate people have. Where does your money come from? What do you do with it? Are you ethical? Are you unethical in the way you're practicing? So this is as far as freedom is concerned. Second point is that basically what you're saying is a very common argument that if there are poor people, then I should be able to exploit them because I'm free. I'm making an offer, and they don't have to accept the offer. But that's how you can also get people roped into drugs, you can get people roped into slavery, you can get people roped into prostitution, and you can say this is a free market and I'm making this offer and I'm not forcing it on them, but they're accepting it because they're too poor, and it's the government's fault for not giving them enough economic opportunity, so I can victimize them. So I feel that unfair exploitation by first world churches in the third world, using their poverty against them, is immoral. And another point is, you can blame it on those governments for having poverty, but they have a colonial history. They are already doing at 5, 6, 8, 9% GDP. It's probably the fastest they can grow. And even growing at this rate will probably take them 100 years to get out of poverty. So it is not like they started like the first world. The first world captured and conquered a large amount of land. I mean, the church went around North, South America, took over all this land, and you know what the history of that is. And the reason they have all this money is not because it rained from the sky, but because they were into radical, violent evangelism, and they took over so much land. So for them to say, okay, now we are rich, and so you guys are poor, and so, we can prey on you, is not morally right. A few facts I will give you. In India, the largest owner of real estate after the government is the church. You don't know, these people are not know. Now they didn't buy the land at fair market price. A lot of it was British entitlement. During the British times, they gave a whole lot of land grants to the churches, where you see the churches built in premium land, and the cemeteries in premium land, and the church schools in premium land. They did not buy it at fair market price. They were given that. So if you want fairness And if you're saying that they got more money, so they should be allowed to do all this, well, where did they get this money from? Did they really get it by equitable, fair, honest means, or did they plunder it? And did they get it from colonial governments? And the answer is yes, yes, and yes. So I feel that you have to allow freedom of religion in the sense of balanced with a responsibility to be ethical in your claims, how you are marketing, not exploit poor people, not be into hate speech that divides people. And the honorable thing for the church in India would be that they should return all the land beyond their proportion. If the 2.5% of India's population is Christian, then only 2.5% of all the religious land should be owned by churches. The rest of it, they should say, we're very honest, we'll return it back because we're very honorable and moral people. If they're not willing to do that, then this business that, oh, you know, we believe in freedom, and since you're poor, your government cannot solve your problem, therefore I have a right to ram through this and do by whatever hook or crook I can, is actually a big it's very immoral and also against the principles of Christianity, as I understand Christianity.
May I add one thing? May I add one thing? In India, the conversion activities are not done by Indian Christians. Most of the established churches, say the Syrian church and so on, they don't do any conversion activities at all. In fact, they even make statements to say that this is wrong. But it's really the foreign funded. And very often people who are in trouble with the law here. There was a massive rally for conversion conducted by a man called Benny Hinn. And he's in trouble with the law here. But the government of the day provided him the Indian Air Force ground because he had mobilized 1 million people to attend his congregation. And there he had 12 people climb on the stage, one paralytic, one cancer, one blind, etc. And he put his hand on each one of them and all got cured. And later on, the Bangalore police, where it was held, revealed that these 12 were actually brought from Tamil Nadu and they were given training on how to behave like a cancer patient and how to behave like a blind, etc. This kind of is repeated all over the country. There's another John Watts who's been doing the same thing. So invariably we find that the conversion activities at the wholesale level is carried out on the basis of foreign money and by foreign missionaries and not by the Indian Christian churches.
One other point to this, if Christianity, by converting people over in the poor country, can solve their problems, they should first solve them in Africa where they already converted them, in Latin America where they already converted them, in Mexico and all these places. Philippines is an Asian country which is mostly Christian. They should demonstrate that their solution works before they export it further. They should take their solution to downtown Trenton, where it's mostly Christian people, but they're very poor. You cannot, if the physician is himself taking that medicine and is sick, he's got really no right to go on selling it to other people. So they have to do market testing. They should say we have test market. One is Trenton and other inner cities, one is Philippines, one is Mexico, one is African countries where we've converted them. And our program for the next 50 years is to really get rid of poverty and get rid of social abuse and get rid of single moms and drug addiction, all these things. We want to get rid of them. Then we will go to the world and say, we can solve the problem. And if they can do that, I will also champion Christianity. But until they can do that, I'm sorry, they haven't proven that their solution works.